But what I particularly liked is that we should treat our entrepreneurs as heroes and move away from what we had become fed with and accustomed to here, where we treated our entrepreneurs and business people and called them all sorts of names. We treated them like enemies and white monopoly capital and all that. That must end today. We want to make our business people heroes. Let us see the business people who are here as heroes, because they are here to develop and grow our economy.
South Africa, it's time we address the elephant in the room. Allegations have long persisted that President Cyril Ramaphosa is not merely a leader of the ANC, but a carefully groomed project of white monopoly capital. These claims paint a picture of a man who was identified, groomed, and planted within the ANC to serve interests far removed from the needs of the black marginalized masses. But how true are these accusations? And why is the nation calling for his resignation now? To understand these claims, we need to revisit history. It's alleged that Ramaphosa's entry into the ANC was facilitated through his work with the National Union of Mineworkers, a role some believe was strategically designed to infiltrate the ANC on behalf of white monopoly capital. Msuwa Lekota even raised concerns in parliament, questioning Ramaphosa's motives and alliances. Was this merely political rivalry, or did Lekota's warning hold substance? Lekota alleges that in the 1980s, while they were arrested together, Ramaphosa collaborated with the Security Special Branch by providing crucial information to the police. As a result, Lekota and others were convicted, sentenced, and sent to Robben Island, while Ramaphosa was set free. Fast forward to 2017, during his campaign for the ANC presidency, allegations surfaced that white monopoly capital came into the picture again by heavily funding his campaign. Some claim delegates were bribed, including former Deputy President David Mabuza. Former President Jacob Zuma has also voiced his concerns, asserting that this financial backing compromised the integrity of Ramaphosa's election as ANC president.
Why must we keep on electing? We call it democracy. But I'm sure all of you know that today those who win are those who have the money. Is that consulted? Is that democracy? Do you know that there are presidents who are president today because they had all the money, but they can't do the presidency or do anything that is presidential? No, that's true. It has become a business, not even a proper business, corrupt business, where people take money, pay to elect so and so. One of the things that those who are behind those who have money have done, if you get elected, they think you are not doing what they want. They then give money to your comrades without you knowing, that pay people to be able to have so and so become a leader. So we have leaders who are not the leaders of the membership, but the leaders that have been elected by bought people with money. I don't think there is any democracy that we're talking about. And we know it because we have suffered. Maybe many of you have not. But some of us have as political parties. There are people who are leading who are not supposed, who are not meant to be leaders. They don't even know how to lead. But because of the money, they are. I just wanted to clarify this. You should know. It's a well thought out decision.
When Cyril got elected CR17, he lost the election, but at the very last minute, with funding organised by Stephen Kossoff from a lot of good South Africans, allowed Cyril to bribe David Mabuza to cross the floor and win. Okay?
You find blacks that will advance your cause. Find them. They are easy to find. They are easy to buy. That's why you can find a president who's a billionaire who has never started any business. You buy them and they will sell their people to you. The phone. Let's proceed. I'll just read the next two ones and I'm going to sit down. Look for blacks you can use to advance your cause. That's why white people don't worry. They'll find somebody from amongst us who will advance their cause. They will find somebody who will push the elections towards a coalition with a DA when black people can comprise 2/3 majority and rule, change the constitution. They'll deter that by finding one person. Look for blacks you can use to advance your cause. This is never difficult because they like identifying with oppressors. Hai makhoa arena asele kwa la mao. Asele kwa lao. Yes, that's a snake.
Fast forward to today. Critics argue that the government of national unity was a pre-planned strategy designed to maintain white economic dominance. Within this narrative, Ramaphosa's presidency is seen as the execution phase of this plan, allegedly guided by organizations such as the DA, AfriForum and Solidarity. Observing Helen Zile's continuous public statements provide insight into what some view as this execution phase in action.
And most of the business community really wanted us to do one thing, and that is to prop up Cyril Ramaphosa and protect him from the EFF leg. That's what they wanted us to do. I think we need to consolidate the DA around 20%. It's a blood strong percentage. We must try and be populist. We must really understand and intelligent to understand the complexity of the argument. Black, brown, Indian, white, and we get together on that. That 20% is a powerful part in the context of coalitions. 20% is big. It's not a one-seat party or a two-seat party. It's a big block. And then the ANC falls to, let's say, 40%. I'd rather make tough demands on Cyril Ramaphosa's ANC to force reforms on them and go into coalition with them and make strict conditions for them in going to coalition with them. And that I think should be our aim in the next election. But these are all things that we have to discuss in Congress. We mustn't try and be a 50% party. We want 20% of South Africans. And remember, there's only 8% of white voters. Between 15 and 20%. That gives us a strong, consolidated bloc in coalitions.
I see the ANC, I see a new political realignment, more around values and away from old historical divisions. I see the moderates within the ANC and the radicals within the ANC getting separated from each other. The war will be who gets the trade name ANC and who forms a new party. But I see a split coming, whether it will be a series of smaller splits or one big split, I can't predict. But a split coming and a realignment in party politics where people believing in the same values, although they find themselves in different parties, will much more easily be able to work together, form coalitions, and will be representing the overwhelming majority of South Africans, which are moderate in their outlook and who would like South Africa to succeed, and who don't believe and don't support radicalism in whatever form. In which one party has 65% of the vote and all the other parties share in the remaining 35% is not healthy. What we need is for the ANC alliance to split. They will split, I can't predict when, and to move away from ethnically based politics to value-based politics. I'm sure it's going to happen. On paper we have a wonderful constitution.
We haven't even begun to unfold what MK has actually done. For just existing, MK has managed to stop plans to unite the DA with the ANC, because the initial plan was that ANC was supposed to get less than 35% of the vote, which forces it that if because the DA was sure that they could at least get 20%. But they only 16% just to match up the ANC so they could run the country. That's why the ANC was not that serious in the beginning of the election in terms of campaigns. You see? So if MK didn't exist, what's going to happen was that the ANC was going to get less than 35%, which Fikile Mbalo already said that the ANC was going to get less than 35%. And then they were not going to advertise, they were not going to campaign, they were not going to get you Mbekis or Kgalema Motlantes. They're just going to be a few people here and there. And then they were going to match. And then when ANC matches the DA, it was going to create the EFF as a super opposition party, where everyone who's disgruntled in terms of the ANC match with the DA will, of course, throw their weight behind the EFF. And in the end, you are going to have a two-party state. And you must understand this. The EFF was part of the plan. It was part of the plan. That's why right now, the EFF, the party that you thought would be the first party to say these elections were not right, these elections were not conducted according to the law, these elections, there were many complaints and they were not dealt with. The EFF was the first party to concede defeat, even before the counting was finished. That they said that democracy is more important. But if democracy is more important, the processes of democracy must then take place to ensure that democracy does not collapse. But if you say democracy is more important, but the processes of democracy are failing, like the election, then what do you mean democracy must always win? Because if
Consider the rejection of transformative policies like the BELA Act and the National Health Insurance by these organizations. While many believe Ramaphosa is not initially succumbing to their demands, others argue that ultimately he will heed their call and execute a mandate that prioritizes white minority interests at the expense of the black majority. The frustration is boiling over. Twitter is ablaze with trending hashtags like #National Shutdown and #Resign, where South Africans are expressing their anger. Some are even calling for Kenyan-style mass protest, demanding Ramaphosa step down. One Twitter wrote, "South Africans must take to the streets like Kenya did and demand the resignation of President Cyril Ramaphosa. Enough is enough. This guy is a sellout and will never put South Africa first." So where does this leave South Africa? Is the anger merely an emotional response to a failing economy, unemployment, and inequality? Or is it truly a reflection of a president who has lost the trust of his people? These questions need answers, and the answers need action. South Africa, the future of our nation, is at a crossroads. Will Ramaphosa's leadership continue to serve the elite, Or will the black marginalized masses reclaim their voice? We want to hear from you. Comment below. What do you think about the allegations and the growing public outcry? Should Ramaphosa step down? Or is there more to this story than meets the eye? This is Inkari. It's time, bringing you the discussions that matter. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's continue unpacking the pressing issues of our time. Thank you for watching and take care.